After narrowly escaping the house of Lakh, the Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva, along with their mother Kunti, continued their exile in disguise as priests, known as Brahmins. Their journey led them to the prosperous kingdom of Panchala, ruled by King Draupadi, a powerful monarch who harbored a deep grudge against Drona. The city of Campilia, capital of Panchala, shimmered with grandeur as it prepared for a spectacle unlike any other, the Swayamvara of Princess Draupadi. A Swayamvara is an ancient Indian practice where a princess chooses her own husband from a gathering of eligible suitors. Drums thundered, conch shells echoed through the streets, and colourful banners fluttered in the breeze. Kings and warriors from all over the land had gathered, each hoping to win the hand of the fire-born princess, famed for her unparalleled beauty and divine origins. The great King Draupadi, ruler of Panchala, sat upon his throne in the vast court, his face unreadable as he observed the eager suitors. He had long harboured a grudge against the Kurus, particularly Drona, the royal preceptor of Hastinapura. Now he sought a son-in-law strong enough to stand against them, one who could shape the destiny of Bharatavarsha. Among the sea of kings and warriors stood the Pandavas, still living in disguise as wandering Brahmins. They had heard whispers of the Swayamvara and, drawn by curiosity, had travelled to Campilia, unaware that fate had already woven their destinies into this moment. The time arrived. Courtiers and sages settled into their seats, while the assembled warriors stood with bated breath. Then, with a nod from Draupadi, the royal priests stepped forward and unveiled the test that would decide Draupadi's fate. In the center of the great hall stood a colossal bow, unlike any ordinary weapon. It was massive, crafted of heavy steel, requiring not just skill but immense strength to wield. Suspended high above, on a swiftly rotating wheel, was a golden metal fish, its eye barely visible. Below it lay a still pool of oil, reflecting the target like a shimmering mirror. The challenge was clear. The competitor had to lift the bow, string it, take aim using only the fish's reflection, and release an arrow to pierce the target's eye, a feat demanding not just brute strength but extraordinary skill and concentration. A murmur ran through the assembly. The challenge was nearly impossible. Draupadi, standing by her father, cast her gaze over the gathered kings. Though her face remained composed, her heart pounded. Would any of these men prove worthy? The contest began. One by one, mighty kings and princes stepped forward, their hearts swelling with pride, only to fail before the impossible challenge. Shalya, the powerful ruler of Madra, strode forward confidently, gripping the bow's handle with both hands. But when he tried to lift it, the great weapon barely budged. Shishupala, the fierce king of Chedi, fared no better. His muscles strained, his face darkened with effort, but the bow remained unmoved. A string of failures followed. Duryodhana, the arrogant prince of Hastinapura, approached with a smirk. He had spent years training in warfare, and he believed himself more than capable. But as he grasped the bow and tried to string it, his smirk vanished. The bow resisted, unyielding to his strength. Gritting his teeth, he tried once more, only to fail. Then Karna, the mighty warrior of anger, stepped forward. A hush fell over the court. Unlike the others, Karna lifted the bow effortlessly, as though it weighed nothing. Gasps filled the air. Was this the moment? Would Karna claim Draupadi's hand? But just as he prepared to string the bow, Draupadi raised her voice, clear and unwavering. "I shall not wed a Sutaputra." Her words struck like lightning. Karna's hands froze. A shadow passed over his face. For a moment, the great warrior stood motionless, the weight of Draupadi's rejection pressing upon him. Then, without a word, he let go of the bow and stepped back, his expression unreadable. Many in the court exchanged uneasy glances. Some muttered that Draupadi's words had been unjust, while others insisted that a princess had the right to choose her husband. But the damage was done. Karna, humiliated, withdrew from the contest. his heart burning with anger. As silence settled over the hall, a new figure rose from the gathering of Brahmins. Slender yet powerful, with a warrior's grace hidden beneath the robes of a simple ascetic, he walked forward with quiet confidence. It was Arjuna. Laughter rippled through the assembly. A Brahmin? Attempting a challenge where kings and warriors had failed. Does this Brahmin think he can do what even Karna could not? Someone scoffed. But Arjuna's expression remained calm. Without a word he approached the mighty bow. His hands closed around it, and in a single fluid motion he lifted it with ease. The laughter died. With practiced ease he strung the bow, a feat no one else had managed. Then, his eyes fixed upon the pool of oil, he took aim, his focus unwavering. The great hall seemed to hold its breath. In one swift motion he released the arrow. The shaft soared through the air, slicing through space with perfect precision, and struck the fish right in the eye. For a heartbeat there was silence. Then the hall erupted. Before the stunned court, Draupadi stepped forward, her heart hammering in her chest. She had found her warrior. Lifting the sacred garland of marriage, she placed it around Arjuna's neck, sealing their fate. But the assembled kings were furious. "This is an insult," Shishupala bellowed. "A mere Brahmin has bested us. This cannot stand." Duryodhana's fists clenched. His failure already burned. But now, to see a wandering ascetic succeed where he had failed, it was unbearable. The warriors rose from their seats, hands moving to their weapons. The court teetered on the edge of violence. Then, from the Brahmin assembly, a massive figure rose like a mountain. "Bhima!" Cracking his knuckles, his deep voice rumbled through the hall. "If anyone dares challenge my brother's victory, let him fight me first." At the sight of Bhima's towering frame, the anger of the kings wavered. They had heard whispers of the slayer of Hidimba, the giant of unmatched strength. Few dared test him. One by one the warriors grudgingly retreated. The storm had passed for now.